All right, we're live. Good to know. So happy Friday night. Today is April 5th, 2024. And all of us are waiting for Monday when we're going to have the big eclipse, which for many of us will probably be maybe the last one we see. There's another one in 20 years, but who knows? So we'll see what happens if we see it or not. In the meantime, I'm starting my video tonight. It's going to be on OT7 security insanities, which is going to be pretty funny. But I have to see if anybody shows up. Hey, somebody showed up. Hi, Carrie. Thank you for coming. I'm going to read a little bit more about my SP Declare while I'm waiting for some guys to pop on with you. Thank you for coming. So we're down to all my evil actions. So hi, Beth. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Chris. I love you guys too. I'm really happy you're coming on. It's so fun to have Midnight with Magoo. Okay, so I'm reading a little bit more about my SP Declare just so you can see how evil I am. Okay, so Tory has engaged in the following suppressive acts. Now, this is what they say, and this is what they believe. 1, public disavowal of Scientology or Scientologists in good standing with Scientology organizations. Not really. I haven't disavowed anybody. Maybe they've disavowed me, but I haven't disavowed them. Okay, 2, public statements against Scientology and Scientologists, but not to committee of evidence duly convened. That is correct. See, I can speak freely, as you all can. I know I'm such a villain. Thank you for reminding me, Carrie. And don't forget, I'm really now, as of Christmas this last year, they told the public person that I'm really an undercover, top secret CIA agent. So I'm not just suppressive. I'm way, way worse than that. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I've made public statements against Scientology. I don't think I've really made them against Scientologists. Maybe Janet Weiland, because she came to the airport when I was there and chased me all around and everything. So they would consider that I'm saying something bad against her. But let's face it, she came to the airport, she canceled my van, came to the airport, chased me around, wrote down everywhere I was going. Hello, which one of us was really in the dark there? And not to a committee of evidence. I would never go to a committee of evidence. No one I've ever known has gone to one of their Scientology committee of evidences and it came out fair. It just doesn't. They already have it prefabbed and it's awful. So that's why I'm against their, trying to tell people that are suing that they have to go through their arbitration process. We went through their arbitration process when I was in Scientology. That's another video I'll tell you about, but it's not good. We won, but they still weaseled out of it. Hey. All right, so 3 is continued membership in a divergent group. Okay, so I'm going to put a sticky note there because that's where we're at. Because there's many more. Not really, there's not that many more. But anyway, continued membership in a divergent group. That's again a lie. I'm not a member of any group. See, they always try to do that. The kids were just telling me that tonight because I said, why don't you guys, tell me where you're going to be? And they said, well, we're not a group. We're individuals. And I said, I've been protesting for 24 years. All of us are individuals. Just because they're trying to say that we're a group or we're a gang, they're going to say whatever they want to say anytime, any day. And it's always going to be on their side and we're always going to look bad. So what? Most logical people can hear it and go, that's bullshit. They're not a gang. We're a bunch of individuals. So we can make a plan just like any other individuals and say, this is where we're going to be. This is when we're going to be there. We have that right. Believe it or not, that's part of the Constitution. It's called free speech, which Scientology does not have. So they think they can manipulate every little thing that everybody does. And I say, don't give your freedoms away to them. I did. I know what it feels like. And it's like I've taken them back, and I'm trying to educate people on take your freedoms back. Don't give them away. Don't let them put you into a corner on something don't put baby in the corner. Remember that? It's like, no, no. So Jenna's paperback behind her declare is pretty epic. Biting auditors. I would do that too, probably. Okay. I have no idea what she's talking about there, but I'll have to look at it and see. Anyway, no, you're never late because this is Midnight with Magoo. We just started, so you're fine. Question: will you be going to the IRS protest next week? Maybe. It just depends on when it is. No one told me about it till now. This is the first I've heard about it. So I have to find out where it is, when it is, if I have any other appointments on that time. If I can, I will. We appreciate your wisdom. Thank you. All right, so tonight I'm going to share with you OT. Scientology is like a triangle. I've told you guys a million times. The top one is OT 8. The one underneath it is OT 7. So I'm going to be talking about the security weirdo-ness on OT 7. Okay, so first of all, you have to be invited onto OT. You have to do OT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then get invited onto OT 6, which is the training level. Thank you. Happy Friday night to everyone. It's the training level. And do you guys want to hear this or not? Because if you don't, we can do Q&A or something like that. I just realized maybe you don't want to hear this. Do you? Say yes or no. Somebody say yes or no. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you, Retired Red. Thank you very much. Okay, good. Let's do an A&A. I don't know what an A&A is. It's more a Q&A. Okay, so all right. All right. It looks like a bunch of people want to do the Q&A. So let's do that. So ask me a question. Now you're saying yes, you want to hear it, but these other people want to do a Q&A. Okay, I'll tell you what. All right, I'll tell you the story, and then if we have time, we'll do some Q&A. How's that? Then we'll have both. Okay, so what is ASHO? It stands for American Saint Hill. Saint Hill was in England, where Hubbard lived. And American Saint Hill is the American version of it. And it's where they do the training. That's where the higher training happens, like the briefing course, which Miscavige just canceled, by the way, a little while ago. Okay, good. So I never made it to the OT levels. Always interested in hearing you talk about your experiences. Okay, so this one's going to be good. So you have to get invited. That's a long wait. It could be a month where you're waiting, kind of on pins and needles. Now, get it. I live in LA, so I had to fly to Flag. You've got to pay for accommodations. They tell you at the time when I was on OT7, you have to stay at the Sandcastle, which was their motel that they owned for OT7 at the time. And it was $1,000 a week to stay there. And I said, I can't afford that. And they said, well, the Sea Org isn't going to eat if you guys don't stay in our accommodations. That's just how it is. So, they kind of run this guilt trip on you, and you're like, okay, whatever. So I ended up sharing a room. So it was like $500 a week. And then it's about whatever, many hundreds for food too. So I'm there and I'm there and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And finally you get the invitation. You're invited to OT7. It's like, oh, thank God. All right, I'm on the level. You think, because you think it's going to be really good. So now I'm on the level. Now this person, Carrie, I get it about Jenna, but we're not talking about Jenna now. So if you need to talk about that, maybe go over to Aaron's site and talk to them about it, and bring it up another time, and we'll talk about it. But it's just sort of like it doesn't work with what I'm talking about. Do you get that? Is that okay? You can either stay here or you can go there, but I'm I'm not going to be talking about Jenna Miscavige's video with Erin on her OSA files from Mike Render's drive. I don't, it's not something I'm going to bring up right now, period. So I'm in the middle of telling you about OT7. Okay, so I get invited onto OT7 or OT6, and now you have to, OT6 is the training for OT7. I won't waste your time on that, but it's long. So now we're in like the HGC getting ready to go on to OT7. And they just renovated the sandcastle. So it's all fancy and new, and there's all kinds of new everything. And this one guy shows up with a tag, like, a security tag. And we say, "What's that?" And he goes, "Oh, it's a security badge. You have to have it for OT7. And we said, "Really? Where do you get it?" And he goes, "Just go upstairs." So we go upstairs to the security office and we say, "Well, we're on OT7. We need one of the badges." So the guy just starts printing them out for each person, right? So now we've got our security badges. And we come back downstairs and they freak out. "How did you get the security badge?" And we said, "We just went upstairs and asked them to give it to us." And they said, "No, you can't do that. You have to go through a long routing form and do all this stuff. And they have to check all this stuff to make sure you're not a plant or something else." They flipped out because it was like too late. We already had the badges. So anyway, now we're going to go into the OT7 course room. And I think we will have time for Q&A because this isn't that long, but it's funny. It's like you have to first of all, you have to do a little course on how to open a book, right? So it's like you can't crack open the OT7 pack. That's like you go to ethics. So you have to like slowly open it up. So they have a little drill on that and all this stuff. Then you have to do a security code to get through the first layer of the entrance to OT7. And this is a good tip for anybody. You have to put your hand over the security buttons and type it in. And if anyone sees any of the buttons that you typed, you're off the level, you sent to ethics, you're put in liability. So that it's really serious. So you're like, okay, you're really making sure nobody's seeing your security code, right? Okay, so now you get the security code open. You get the door open. But now you have to get in by a certain time or the door locks again and you have to go all over it again. So now you're in a hall with like maybe 4 or 5 other people. And all of us have to get into this next door that is locked. Yeah, this is for solo knots. I'm not going to go over what's really involved in it. This is about the security thing right now. It's just more of OT3, really. That's all it is. It's just more stuff about BTs and clusters. And why it takes so long is because it doesn't really work. That's my opinion. That's my personal opinion and experience after 7 years. Okay, so now you're in the hall with these other people and you have to get into the door into the course room. And there's a light up at the top and it's going to go from red to green. And when it goes green, you have to get in there. And if all four of you don't get in there, everything locks up and you all have to go back outside and start again. So anyway, let's say you get in. Now you have to go to this older man that is giving out the OT7 packs that are all locked up in a file cabinet. So they're locked in a file cabinet. So you get how 007 this thing is, and so secretive. So it's locked in, all the packs are locked in a file cabinet. He has to unlock a pack, give it to you. You have to get over to a desk and plug it in the desk. And if you don't get into the desk fast enough, the alarms go off and everyone in the room, I know it sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Everyone in the room has to go outside and go through all this shit again. Is that insanity or what? It's really, even when you're on it, you're just sort of like, what? How important can this be? But of course, you have to keep you have to carry a briefcase, and it has to be locked on your wrist at all times. So they also have, yeah, right, to make you feel special. Oh, What a mess. So now let's say you get in session, and we were doing sessions in our rooms in the sandcastle. Now you have to have all the windows locked, because if any of the windows are not locked or the doors, it's again, you're thrown off the level, you're put in liability, you have to work up the conditions again. So it's really intense. So let's say you have a security, you have a session, and now you're done. You have to go to the examiner. So I do. I have everything's locked up. I lock the door. I've got my briefcase on my wrist. I sit down at the examiner's and I realize, oh no. And I mean, this is going to sound so stupid to you people, because if you're not brainwashed, you would never do this. But there's two things for a briefcase, to open it up and shut it. And one was shut and one was open. So I realized that's out security per them. So I had to tell her, I said, look, I've got one of these open. I'm only like 5 feet from my door. It's not that out security. It's not like there's a bunch of gang members that are going to steal the stuff. You know what I mean? But nope, you're off the level and the bottom of ethics. You have to work all your way back up. So it's intense, and to think that I stayed on that for 7 years. Can you imagine how excited I was when I finally went, that's it, I'm done. I don't care what could happen on this level. Nothing has happened, first of all. I haven't had any wins on the level at all, like real case gain at all. And I've had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars. So anyway, it's kind of crazy to think. That shows you how mind control you are. Okay, was the windows being locked about security? Absolutely. The whole thing's about security. Yeah, I stayed on it for a long time. My husband got through it in 2 years, but it took me 7, and I never really finished. I just quit. I was like, that's it. The last CS I had was, see if you can walk down the street and not think about your case. Well, your case is just anything you think about. So that's like, don't think. And of course, you're going to think. So I'm walking down the street and I go by the first driveway and I'm thinking. And then I go to the second one and that's it. That's it. There's a thing called scissor tech where you can cut all the lines to the BTs and clusters, and you just do this big scissor thing and they're gone. And I just did it. I did the scissor tech. That's it. Go away. I'm done. And I'm not just done for this lifetime. I'm done for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Because that's what Hubbard says. This isn't just this lifetime. It's lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Okay. Question. Is this where you have to audit 6 times a day? Probably. They expect you to do quite a bit. And the sessions, I will say, are generally short. So, geez. What is this? What do they think is going to happen? A bird's going to fly in and steal the papers. I know it doesn't make any logical sense. That's why I wanted to tell you guys, because it's so crazy. All right. Okay. Question. What are BTs and clusters? Okay. This is something you learn on OT3, which is, again, it's a triangle and you learn it up. It's the top. It's the top thing here. So it's like right here. You learn about OT3. And you can Google it and look at it, because I'm not going to go into the whole thing. But it's BT stands for body thetan, which is a spirit that is stuck on you. And a cluster is a bunch of them grouped together. So that's what it is. And you can Google it, and there's all kinds of information on it. I'm glad you figured out, me too, that they weren't carrying the nuclear codes. I know they really act like it is the nuclear codes. That's a good description of it. It really is. All right. So now should I answer any questions now? Yeah, let me answer the questions here, and then we'll do Q&A. Okay. So isn't that pretty weird, though? It really is. And it's weird that people don't just go, this is stupid, I'm leaving. Oh yeah, this person already asked, will you be going to the IRS protest next week? I didn't even know about it till tonight when you said that. So I need to know when it is and where it is. Like what time is it? What day is it? Thank you. Thank you. That's nice. That's a nice thing you said. All right. And happy Friday night. Thank you. Happy Friday night to all of you. Okay. Good. So now let me see if there's any more. Wait, I got to undo that. There we go. Okay. Let's do Q&A. Okay, so there's a few people that want to do Q&A, so we will. In a minute, I just want to answer any questions. Okay. Okay. I'll catch you on the replay. Our friend is live now and doing better. Good. I'm glad. That's good to know. That's really good to know because that's right. I talked to you about that. Thank you. Oh, I'm so happy. That was rough. Sometimes people get into tricky things, especially in younger ages. I know 17 people who killed themselves. They were all Scientologists, but it was all pretty much from like age 18 to 25, 28, or 26, right around there. You just have to get through that age band. It's really tricky. Okay, great. Here's a question. I told you what is ASHO. Okay, there you go. All right, thank you. Thank you. So it's insane how they do all this. Yeah, it is. It really is. It 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 that's why I wanted to tell you because it's really crazy. I mean, this is the top, but like I went to the ship and they wouldn't let me on the ship. Turn aside. I was like, oh Jesus, these guys are nuts. Okay, Solonuts, what's really involved? I don't understand why it takes so long. It takes so long because it doesn't work. That's it. It shouldn't take long, but imagine, you're almost at the end of whatever bridge to total freedom that you've been on, and you have whatever problems you have, headaches, back problems, whatever, and now you're trying to get rid of it with OT7, which is supposedly getting rid of these spirits, BTs, that are causing you this problem. But that doesn't work. It's a bunch of bullshit. So now there's people that'll stand by it and say that isn't bullshit. It's true. Okay, I'm not going to put them down. I'm not. It's like everyone can believe what they want. But to me, it was a bunch of bullshit. And one of my friends, thankfully, really cleared it up for me, and that helped. So it does sound ridiculous. You're right. How weird, so controlling, crazy. Yep. What is this? Comment. Drills on opening a book and putting in a pin. Running the gauntlet. Okay, cool and normal for a religion. Okay. I've never, ever known a religion where they had a class that you had to take on how to open, like, let's say, the Bible. I don't think that's normal. And they are not a religion. So neither of those things work for me. I don't think it's normal for any religion, and Scientology isn't really a religion. So it might be normal for a cult because they'll do anything to make you, make it weirder. This is perfect. Perfect. Sounds like the security is much to do about nothing. Correct. Correctamundo. Excuse me. Okay, so, yep, I was on it for 7 years. And we already answered that one. Are there any other questions here? Question. Okay, I answered that. I love that about the nuclear codes. That's funny. That is exactly how they treat them. Oh, good, Carrie. I didn't know that. She didn't know the abbreviations, what they were. Somehow, you just think if people don't know, they would, I don't know, those words have been around for a long time. So I would think people know, but I'm glad it helped. That's good. That's a good thing. See, there's new people all the time. That's the thing. You never know how long people have been looking into Scientology, even, and certainly the upper levels. Shula G. No wonder they think you're a top secret CIA agent after that stuff. Exactly. But think about it, how many people go through that and they're not CIA agents. So it's like, why did that get tagged on me? Who knows? Because I'm here. All right. Okay, now here's Patrick. All this security just because some SPs walked into a European org wearing Sea Org uniforms, bluffed the staff, and walked out with all the OT materials. They told them they were a security mission. That's true. That happened. And that is funny. I don't know if that's the only reason why all the security, because I was around when that happened. And this stuff got way worse with Miscavige. It really did. Okay, good. Thank you. That Ononora has the details of the protest. So you can check on her on YouTube, I guess. Hi, Tori. New to your channel. I just finished watching the interview with Natalie and came straight here to find you live. Thank you. She's great. I really like Natalie a lot. She does the morning thing and she really likes it. I do the night thing because there's so much stuff going on in the day. That's why I decided, well, I think I'll just do midnight with Magoo. I didn't really know anybody would come on, but it's turned out to be great. It's not a huge amount of people, but it's a really good group of people. And then there's a bunch of people that come on in the morning that write me and go, oh, I'm so happy I got to see your video, because they wake up in the morning. And per them, they have, they read the newspaper and they listen to Magoo, Midnight with Magoo. So hello to the Europeans. One of these days we'll be there. Does security stay with you while doing OT7? What is their job? That's a good question. Do they stay with you while doing OT7? Well, I just explained the course room. Did you getting into the course room? So there's security there because if anybody did anything weird, there's always security in Scientology around. When you do your session, no, you're by yourself, but you're in a space. Well, while you're there, you're at Flag, and they have security all around. But most of it is, built in so that you're self-censoring yourself. That's how that works. And what is their job? It's just in case. Who knows? People storm the OT7 or stole the materials. They'll be there to help them. It's like, who knows? I think half of it is to just make a presence. Are there any shortcuts? Can't you fake it? I am the wrong person to ask on that because I have heard of people who lied and things like that. I didn't see any shortcuts and I wouldn't fake it. It was just one of those things where I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to get it done. You're not really there thinking, oh, I'll just fake it and, do this and this and this and get through it. It's not like that. It's like you're really in the Truman Show and you really think this is going to work. So you really are trying to do what is right for the thing to get to that place. Does that make sense? Okay. If it doesn't, ask me again. So they do no sec checks in LA, always have to fly to Florida. No, that's not true at all. They do sec checks here, but for OT7, you have to go to Flag. That's the difference. All the rest of the bridge you can do here, and they can do the sec checks here. But OT7, you got to fly to Flag. Okay, comment. Now that you've explained the security aspects of OT7, I totally understand why you said you were finding it so challenging and gaining weight. It sounds awful. It is. See, thank you. And it is awful. And on top of it, because it doesn't work, you pick up the cans and there's a certain thing you have to do before you can start session. And the auditor will say, I think you haven't eaten enough today. They got into that where it was like, you need to eat more. So, of course, being an overeater, it's like, okay, I'll go eat. And there's 10 other people that are there going, yeah, let's go eat. So you see people on OT7, they blowed up. It's amazing. It's spooky. I don't know what the P is. You'll have to clarify that. Okay, and she just said oops. Okay, so maybe she meant oops. Okay, that's to Patrick Skinner. So Patrick, Nancy Drew wants to know, when did that happen in Europe? The SP's going in there. I forget what date it is, but it was years ago. That's why I'm saying this security stuff is not just from that. It isn't. But I'm sure it all adds up. It's like, wait a minute, somebody just walked in. Not anymore. Hello from Melbourne, Australia. Your interview with Natalie was great. Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. It was really nice. I love how they just handed out the security badges. I know this was so funny. In light of the training involved in 027, it was so funny, Carrie, because it just you just have to get how freaked out they were, and we didn't know. We were just like, the guy has a badge. Okay, we're on OT7, we'll go get a badge. And the security guy didn't know either. He was like, okay, here's your badges, and he gave them to us. And then we went down there, and she goes, did you do the routing forms for the security? And we went, no, nobody gave us one. And she goes, then you can't have the security badges. I mean, she freaked out. It was really an interesting experience. Good morning from England. Hello. Hello. All right, the staff that puts you through all this rigmarole, do they know that it's bullshit? I don't think so. I really don't. I really think they're not on the level. You have to remember. So they're not going to know it's bullshit because they're not on the level. They're Sea Org. So they're lucky if they're clear, which I don't believe in clear anyway. So they're lucky they're not clear. But they feel like they want to do the OT levels, but they haven't done any of them at all. So for most of the Sea Org, so they wouldn't know about Xenu or anything, BTs or clusters or anything. So no, they wouldn't know. And that's lucky for them. I always say to people, you're lucky it didn't. Okay. Hello. Did you know Billy Sheehan, the bass player? Yeah, there's actually a video where when Anonymous did the picket, Billy Sheehan came up to me. He came up to Mark Bunker and I, and he said, there's no disconnection. I think that was it. I forget. He said something that it was something about OT3 that just wasn't true. And I said, no, it was something he said about OT3 that just wasn't true. And I said, it's not true. And it was very weird because he just came up with this piece of paper saying, I'm a Scientologist. I'm just here, but then all of a sudden he started on this, stuff about OT3 that wasn't true. And I said, look, you can look at it in writing. It's in writing, by L. Ron Hubbard on xenu.net. You can go read what OT3 is. And so we had a little thing. That's the most I know of him, but that was it. I know he's a great bass player, but that was when I talked to him. Okay. Tori, you are the only one that does a stream that the whole world can catch at the same time. Australia, Europe, the Night Owls, and the US. Woo-hoo! That's pretty exciting. Thank you, Swedish Alina. Thank you for mentioning that. I never really realized that. I did realize it's here in Europe, and then Australia, but you're right. Yeah, it's international. It's really kind of cool. I mean, I feel, I hope it's okay. I hope you guys are okay with it, and you feel like I'm, you like what I'm doing. If you don't, I want you to tell me. I really do. Is there a protest at the IRS? I think there is, but they just said no. Nora knows when it is. Someone will. We'll find out. I should know within a day or two. Okay, here's a question. Why are the OT levels separate into different spaces? I'm not sure what you mean by that. The OT levels separated into different spaces? You mean like OT7 is at the Sandcastle and the other stuff is here in LA and other areas around the world? Um, I think it just was more control. They were really freaked out as they got higher up that someone would steal the materials. And then, um, so it was an effort to control it so nobody could steal the materials because all the materials have been stolen over and over and they know it. So I think they thought, all right, we're going to have it at the Sandcastle and nobody can come in and it's totally controlled and we've got security and all this other stuff. That's why it was so funny that, we just went upstairs and got these badges and the guy just printed them out. It was like, okay, you want a badge? Here you go. He probably got in a lot of trouble. But anyway, that's the way it goes. All right, what is this? Nancy Drew, early 2000 or 2000. Look at it. It should show. Okay, that's something else. All right. 2001, Patrick Skinner said, for when the guys broke in and stole the materials. In this chat, we do sentences and questions. You better like the video or Tori will get spicy. Ooh, I like the way you guys are correcting this. This is good. In this chat, we do full sentences and questions. You better like or Tori will get spicy. Well, actually, I can't see the likes anymore, so I don't get spicy anymore. I used to, I admit it. But, and I kind of liked it because I kept thinking, wait, there's guys that are watching it. And I could kind of tell because the likes would be higher than the people that are here. And that I liked, I really did. But I can't really see it. So that hasn't happened. And as far as the full sentences, it does help me. It really does. Because I can't remember what everybody's talking about. So for me, it helps to do a sentence. And that's just the way it is. It shouldn't be that difficult. It really shouldn't. Hi from halfway between Portland and Seattle. Ooh, that's a pretty area. Enjoy it. Hello from the UK and Australia. Wow. Hello. Very snazzy. Thank you. Hi, Holly. Holly Lewis. That's a cool name. Question: did you do OT7 with kids? Meaning kids on the OT7? Did I do OT7 with kids? I don't know if you mean did I have a kid or did I do it with kids? So ask me that again, Brooke, and explain if you mean with kids on the level. Because no, there were not kids on the level. It was adults. I don't think they ever had kids on OT7. And I had my son in 1977, and I did OT7 in 1989. I did OT6 in 1990. I started, and I quit in 1997. So there you go. That's that. Let's see. All right. Is Lovin asleep? She's traveling, and soon she's gonna be here, so that's good. Excuse me. Hopefully she is, doing whatever she has to do. I'm happy about it, and you guys are being great, so thank you. Okay. Okay. Good morning, Tori. Charles from Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right, my brother lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Welcome, and make sure you subscribe, and if you can, make sure you like the video. I'm from Sydney. Ooh, that's nice. I'd love to go to Australia. I really would. It's one of my true, places that I want to be. I set an alarm to be up. Ah, that's sweet. Good for you. That's very sweet. I like that. Australia here. Here's another Australian. All right. And here's another one. Aussie here. Ah. Do you guys know Dave Gibbons? Did either of the Australians know Dave Gibbons? He's a friend of mine from Australia. He was great. But when we used to be on a different thing, he would come on at like, I think 1 a.m, and he would have the news for the next day. And we'd be like, oh, Dave's here. You know, it was really great. And he was really funny. Okay. Thanks, Tori, about Billy Sheehan. He played with David Lee Roth of Van Halen. All right. And others. Currently, he lives in Nashville, where I just left. I was disappointed to find out he was in C of S. Yeah, it's too bad because he's such a good guy. You know, I hate it when musicians get trapped in it because they often, not all of them, but a lot of them stay. And anyway, that's his choice. You would think, especially Billy being around so many other musicians and other areas and different things, I would think he would wake up. I just would. Ooh, look, here's another Aussie in UK here. Welcome. And South Africa. Ooh, I love this. Camellia. That's nice. Perth. Hey, here's somebody saying, Perth Scientology audit. Cheers. How are you going? I think that's between them. Okay. Okay, this is from New York. I can't say the name of that, but thank you for letting me know you're from there. I could say this all day. Nancy Drew, sorry, my brain is not giving me that information. Understood, Patrick. No worries. She can Google it too. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. She can Google it because it's. What would she ask? When and where did Scientology? I've done it. I've Googled it. I know you can. It's like when and where did people break into Scientology and take their top secret information? That's what you would ask them. I'm pretty sure that's it. Hey, there's Lovett. Here she is. All right. Ta-da! Good. Welcome. Love it. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's see what this is. Question. Was there much information about Xenu after they originally told you about it? Did they put out more information about it after that included information about the other OT levels? Actually, it was very interesting. They screwed up on OT7. Sorry, I'm really having this frog in my throat. But they, oh, that's right. Wait, I forgot. I have those little things that are like things for my throat that help. Let me see. I don't know where they are. Anyway, okay. I don't know where they are. I had them. I did. Now I got to remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about? See? Bad. All right, someone has to remember. I told you guys that. All right, let me go down. Ooh, we have to go way down. All right. Ah, oh my goodness. Yeeks. Okay, greetings from New Mexico. I was in the ESO. I was waken up by the bad dream. Happy you're on. Okay, good. Oh, this is the Confident Chris gang. Yeah, because I don't know where they were, but someone has to tell me because they looked really funny. I guess they were in a van or something. I couldn't tell what they were doing. Okay, no, wait. This is a question. Was there information about the? Oh, that's where it was. Okay, yeah. So what happened on OT7 is they screwed up, and apparently they have the different class levels for auditing: class 4, class 5, which is me, class 6, which is the briefing class 7, and class 8. So class 8, and then it goes up to class 12. But they had the class 8 information is supposed to be really top secret. And that had a bunch of stuff about Xeno and OT3 and stuff. And they let us read it on OT7 one time. And we were all like, wow, we never read this stuff. And I wish I could remember to tell you, but I can't. But anyway, the point is, immediately it was like, no, you can't. And if you've read something, you're supposed to be able to reread it and check it out and all this stuff. No, you can't read it. You can't read it. You can't check it out. Nothing. It's done. I'm trying to find my purse. I think it's way over there. Purse, where are you? All right. I can't find it. Okay, here it is. I found a man. Because I'm tired of being a frog. So somebody got in trouble because they weren't supposed to show us that. But it was interesting. It was. I will say that. I mean, was it real? No. But when you're in the Truman Show of OT3 and OT4, 5, 6, and 7, you think it is. And now that you're getting all this like, ooh, I didn't know about that. It's like, it was really cool. And then it was like, it's gone. You didn't read it. You never wrote it. Just, that's it. You never read it. Don't talk about it, period. And if you have any problems with it, you're going to ethics. And you're like, okay, I didn't read it. Okay, so there's that. Let's see if there's any other. Yeah, we're trying to find the IRS protest, if anybody knows when and where that is, so we can get as many people down there. I know they told me tonight, because I said, where are you guys going to be tomorrow? Because I like to go meet up with them. And they're like, no, we can't say that because then we'll be a group and they're saying that we're a gang. And I said, look, listen to me carefully. Scientology is always going to say bad things about us. So it doesn't matter. Nobody in a courtroom is going to believe that you're a gang because you're a bunch of individuals that planned and got together for a protest. It isn't true. It's just a bullshit thing Scientology made up and somebody bought it and passed it on now. Okay, it looks like Patrick Skinner came through and answered the question. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, 82 times. Okay, 82 times. Is that 82 likes? I don't know. But there's 124 people in here. Thank you for that. And we all say hi to Love It. We're happy you're here. Okay, now these guys are talking together. Here's a question. All right, question. Yes, children that were becoming OT7 level? Really? Oh, you're asking children that were becoming OT7. No, not in my day from 1990 to 1997. No, I don't know if later they did or not. I really don't. But they have to do an awful lot of auditing to get to OT7. And I just don't think kids are going to be on it. They certainly weren't when we were there. Okay, here's good morning from Belgium. Hi. And is your name Inglewood? Eaglewood, okay. Go ahead, Patrick Skinner, laugh at me. That's right, Spicy Tory. Midnight with Magoo, you got it. Okay, you're amazing. Thank you for being so brave. Thank you. Well, I'm not quite sure which part of it is brave, but I appreciate you saying that. Yes, ma'am. I've liked, subbed, and enjoyed my evening. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Shade Tree Mechanic. Ooh, I like that, Nick. That's cool. All right, it's love it. Toddy is so close to 25,000 subscribers. Please share her with your friends. Do you mean Toddy meaning Tori? Let's hope you're talking about Tori. It's late. We know you've been traveling. It's okay. All right. But yeah, please. I am close to 25,000, and that'd be good. So let's do it. Brooke Elliott, there are kids these days doing OT8. Have you actually seen them? I mean, I want somebody who was on OT8 with some kids to come tell me. If you've heard about it, I want to talk to someone who was on OT8 with kids on OT8. Whether the kids were there at the ship, that's different. But if they were actually on the level, I want to hear about it. So now that you brought it up and said that's true, you have to go find out who said it and is it fact or fiction? Because it maybe it is. I don't think so. I really don't. But I think people can say that. I hear so much stuff about kids that I just go, not in my day. Didn't know about it. Kia Ora from New Zealand. Oh, I love New Zealand. One of the New Zealanders saved my life online. It all happened online, but she changed my life. I don't know, Dave. Sorry. Ooh, and here's another. Look. Oh, is that the same person? Okay. Always so lovely to be here to hear what Tori is telling us. Okay. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you guys are good. I wonder if Dave Gibbons, the Dave I speak to in chat sometimes. Yeah, that's probably him. Ask him if he knows Tori. Just ask him. He'll either know me. He'll either say, yeah, I do, or it won't be him. But it's probably Dave Gibbons if he's from Australia. And he's a great guy. And ask him about his turtles, too. Tori, would you be more than welcome? Oh, that's so nice. Ah, that's very sweet. Thank you. Thank you, very Squirrel of Oz. Thank you. Well, I will start saving my coins because it's a little bit of a trip, but that would be wonderful. Can you email me and I'll let me show you my email because now I know how to do it. There you go. That's my email. If you can email me, just if I'll just all that'll happen is if you give me either your nick, the one that you're using now, and how to contact you. And then if I can, I will. I mean, it won't be anything, like soon by any means. Don't worry. But it is a fun thing to think about. You were talking about OT7 and how they screwed up. Yep, they did. Thank you for letting me know. Sophie, hello. Miss Tori, I don't have any money to give. Okay, what's this? I don't have any money to give in your misspelled PayPal, but I hope others will donate. Thank you. We are all so blessed to know you. You are a light in the world. Purple hair rocks. Thank you. Thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate it. And this is what, here's Xenu.net, which is my friend who just passed away, Andreas Heldelin. There's great information there. This is a place if you want to donate any money, there's that. And this is the PayPal if you want to donate with that. That's the misspelled name, which I'm still trying to correct, but it's not a quick process, I'll tell you that. And that's Venmo. Okay. So back to the comments. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, 115 likes. All right. That's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. The conference I mentioned earlier is The Cult, 19 to 20 October. Okay. Well, thank you. I don't know what decult means. Maybe it's called decult. Oh, here we go. Pamela, thank you very much. Pamela SP Butterfly. I like that. IRS protest is April 9th. Okay, check Ono Nora's community page. All right, good. So April 9th, we're at April 6th, so that's coming up. Ooh, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, now here's some information from Marie. The cops were actually also trying to categorize them as a gang so they could add enhancements when they arrest them. Enhancements? All right. Well, anyway, so it's the cops that are doing it, but I would put money on it that it's Scientology has put that into the cops' heads, that they're a gang and they should be thought of that way. And, so I get it. So the kids are just going, no, we're not going to act that way. I still say we've been protesting like that since 2000. We've been saying this is where we're going to picket. This is when we're going to picket. And DOA always laughs at me that I say picket because they call it a protest now. But we used to call it picketing. But anyway, this is where we're going to protest. This is when, this is where. And that way, a lot more people show up. And we would do it about a month in advance. We would announce it. So everyone has time to hear about it, think about it, put it on your calendar, that kind of thing. So a lot of people would end up showing up. It was pretty cool. And I did the same thing with my parties too. I was a teacher. Thank you. I think you would make a great teacher. You are so great at talking to people and educating them. Thank you very much. That's a really nice compliment. I taught 2-year-olds in 6th grade with Danny Masterson, believe it or not. And another girl who worked with Lisa McPherson. It was a weird group of people. It really was. And I didn't stay long. I like teaching, but I didn't, I didn't like that group of people. And I didn't like, she didn't know what she was doing. She really didn't know how to run a school. So how expensive was each level? You can Google that and find out. Scientology, how much is each level, and it'll come up. They're all different prices, and it's expensive. And like something like OT7, it's very expensive because you have to go every 6 months. I was on it for 7 years. You have to stay in there. At the time, they may have fanned out because a lot of people didn't like it, but you had to stay at the sandcastle. It was super expensive and super shitty rooms. So it was really irritating to have to pay all that money. And the food was really expensive. And you had to stay there. So anyway, it ended up costing a lot of money for me. Okay, this is someone saying, Howard, as ever, it's good to listen to you from your insights. As always, a light that shines through the BS of the cult. Keep on keeping on. Thank you. Andreas will be proud of you and your efforts. I always think about him. I really miss him. I do. He was a wonderful man, and I was very blessed to have him in my life. I really was. Question: how expensive was each level? I think I just answered that. So Google it. And there it's expensive, and there's more things. They'll make it sound like it. Well, it's not that much, but by the time, and then you have to remember every time you go to Flag, you have to go see Way to Happiness and donate there. Narcanon, if they try to weasel money out of everybody for everything. Way to Happiness, Narcanon, Applied Scholastic. They've got all their front groups, and you've got to go see each one. And well, we need your help with that, and you could donate. And it's like, so there you go. I think I said that. The city and the county have anti-gang laws, specific to Los Angeles and their relationship with Scientology may allow them to corrupt the use of those laws. Right to assemble would be stopped. Ooh, really? You're saying that might happen. The city and the county will have an anti-gang law specific to Los Angeles. But we're not, anti-gang. People protesting is not the same as a gang. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like it is not the same category. It just isn't. And, people need to think about it a little bit. Okay, I can't remember who said it, but it was definitely a reliable source. Okay, about OTs being done by kids. All right, well, then ask Aaron, because he thinks Aaron said it, maybe. Ask him, because it's not real to me. I've never heard of it. I don't know about it, and I'm not going to comment on it anymore. So there you go. Your stories are the best. However, can someone make a map of the places you talk about? The distance is hard to understand. I don't understand. The stories are the best. However, can someone make a map of the places you talk about? Well, I think most of you here have seen photographs and know about Flag, which is in Clearwater. Am I correct or not? Is there someone that doesn't know about Flag? Because it's kind of all over the internet. So I would think you guys have seen it. And LA is here. So you've got Los Angeles. If you're in another country, I can see where it might be different, but it's like a 6-hour flight from LA to Flag. I think that's it. It's a long flight. So there's that. And then the rest of it around the Sandcastle and Flag is all within blocks of each other. So there's that. I don't know if anybody's going to draw, give me a specific of a place that I've mentioned. Like OT7 is in the Sandcastle, which I just talked about. And I'm not going to I'm not going to draw a map of where it is because it doesn't matter. And Flag is, I think there's all kinds of photographs about Flag. There are from Mark Bunker, and Aaron, I think, lives there now. So he's got photographs and videos and stuff like that. So you can check that out. Okay, so here we go. This is Nancy Drew. The IRS protests are on the following dates: the 9th, 17th, and 14th in LA per Nora's community page. Okay, so let me just write it down. So it's the 9th, the 17th, and the 24th. 9th. How odd. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why there's 3 different protests. Okay. Question. But they do child auditing. What age do you start auditing or OT levels? I don't know. That's a good question. I think child auditing can start very young. It kind of depends on the parents and putting their kids on course or in auditing, right? I didn't. So my son was on a couple of courses, and he had a really awful auditing thing that I just traded with Debbie Mace for my computer, believe it or not. I just bought a brand new computer and I couldn't get it to work. So she said, well, how about if I give your son some auditing and you give me the computer? So I did, and I realized he hated the auditing. So that was it. We just said, we're not going to do it. And then it turned out she just took the computer down to somebody at a repair shop, and I had bought it brand new, but he said there's just something wrong with it. He fixed it, and now she has a brand new computer. It was like, ticked me off. But that's common in Scientology, stuff like that. So I have seen. I am not a good person to ask about child auditing because I don't really. I don't think I've. I don't think I've seen that many. They may have, but I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying it isn't. I haven't. And what age do you start auditing or OT level? I don't know of any kids that have been on an OT level when I've been on an OT level. Um, what age do they start auditing? Again, it just depends on the parents. I mean, book one, which is Dianetics, you can start without a meter at any age. It's just sort of like talk therapy. So you could sit your kid down. I didn't, but you could sit him down and say, you know, what do you have your attention on? I want you to recall a time when you were, but usually kids they're so young, it's not going to really impinge for them. I don't think. That's what I think. But anyway, there you go. I haven't seen any either. I'm not saying there aren't any. I'm just saying not when I was there, I didn't see kids getting auditing. I saw them in the Sea Org. I saw them around their parents. It was a mess. It was. But that was my opinion. And I told the execs that early on, that these children need to have time with their parents and go to school and stuff like that. It really ticked me off. So it's not something some people say, oh, you're new at this with kids. No, I'm not. I've been talking about this before you were even a thought. Okay. We are never ends and want to support the cause out here in the DC area. Okay. Do you or anyone on the channel know if others in the area are going to support and stream out here? That's a good question. I don't. Does anybody, if anybody does, can you kind of post it down at the bottom and then I'll see it because I don't. But that doesn't mean there isn't. It just means, like DOA, I think was there. So he may go back there. Hi. Hey, Tori. Hi. Okay, now here's a thing where it says, she says, that's terrifying. Now, a better way to do that would be to say, what is terrifying? Because see, here we are. Which thing of that we were talking about is terrifying? So, the security or, anyway, let me know. Because then at least I understand. Okay, love it. Is all right. Talking to some people. Did you have your own meter? Of course. I have my Mark V. I still have it. It's a wooden meter. Now they have the big, fancy ones, and they're $6,000. I think mine was $200 or something. Back I worked at Delta Meter for a little while, building meters with Arnie. Did you have your own meter? Hey, Tori. Oh, good. Good. This is Meshwan from OCMB. All right. Glad you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Those were fun times at OCMB. It was OCMB is this here, just so you know. This is Xenu.net. And Andreas called it Operation Clambake because apparently somewhere LRH talks about we being clams or something like that. So he made it into Operation Clambake. But it's easier to just remember Xenu.net and pass it on to other people as information. And now I forgot what we were saying. Shoot. What was it? What was he saying? I don't remember. All right, let's see. Good night, Nancy Drew. I guess she's leaving. Are Sea Org members required to practice abstinence? 100%. They can't even kiss until they're married. That's why they all get married really young. Good night, Patrick Skinner. Good night, Tori and all. Thank you all. What did Patrick say? Thank you all. Without you, this would not have been much impact. As well, the X community is getting pumped about the activism. Yeah, that helps. That's good. That is very good. All right. All right. Well, good night to the guys that are leaving. And police are trying to put the protesters in a prison, so they have to be cautious. Ooh, we're trying to put is that true? I guess. So then they do have to be cautious. Okay. All right. Well, that's different. Okay. Here's a question. I've always been curious, how do people with no money, like immigrants, homeless, young people, join with no money? Well, generally they don't. First of all, because they're considered downstats in Scientology, and so they're not really interested in them unless they will sign a billion-year contract and become slaves for them, and then they come on in. So they're willing to take anybody if they'll join the Sea Org, but they won't. You know, you have to pay for everything, everything. That's why I stand outside the testing center and say there is nothing free in Scientology. Nothing. You have to pay to say you're a Scientologist. That's the IAS. That's what that is. Now Hubbard never had that. He had the Hubbard Association of Scientologists, and it was just a one-time fee. That was it for your life. But then Miscavige came around after he died and said, "Oh, no, we've got the International Association of Scientology." Anyway, I agree you're not going in reality, but it would be okay. No, wait, let's see. I agree you're not a gang in reality, but it would stop the protest for 6 months or a year before it got through the courts. Ew, icky. But again, it's a big if. To me, I personally, I don't see it. And I mean, I've been protesting for 24 years, so I have some experience on this. And to me, if I was worried about it, I would go down and talk to the police. And if the police didn't help me at all, I would go talk to the mayor. And if the mayor didn't help me, I would go talk to the senator. I told you, I wrote the president of the United States, and I got some help because I wrote every single police department surrounding the thing. Well, that was from my husband, but we wrote the governor, the mayor, and every single police department, saying this one police department that was supposed to help him managing an apartment building wouldn't help at all. And the next day, we had police calling us every single day from then on. We're helping you. We got rid of X, Y, and Z. Is there anything else you need? It was good. All right. So, does anyone know if Laura FM and DOA made up yet? I didn't know they had a fight. Did they have a fight? You'll have to fill me in. I didn't know that. Fill me in. Jesus is God. Okay, love it. Hey, good. Please use complete sentences. Thank you. Thank you, love it. Hello, Tori and crew. Great to see all. And ditto to you. Thank you for being here. And here's someone from Melbourne, Australia. Woohoo! All right, flag is in Clearwater, Florida, on the east coast of the United States. LA is in California, of course, in Los Angeles on the west coast. So there you go. Thank you. And they are about 6 hours apart in flight. For a map, use Google Maps and search for Scientology in a specific city or state. So you could mainly what I've been talking about is LA and Clearwater. So, and the different things in LA are all on L. Ron Hubbard Way. They're not all, because there are other, but they're within a mile or two of each other. It just doesn't matter. Some of them are down, like the testing center is down a ways, but most of the things I'm talking about are on L. Ron Hubbard Way. So there you go. But you can use the Google map. Okay, well, the poor don't pay for auditing. So, and they don't pay for books. They generally don't have poor people in Scientology. And if they do, they've joined the Sea Org, and they, treat them very kindly at first. And you're really great that you're here. And, it's awful because they're joining basically a slave camp, but they don't know that. It's tricky. Okay, no, wait. Okay, thank you. Melissa said leave off the drama with um, DOA and Laura. Okie doke, they're friends of mine, so I'm kind of concerned about it now. But hi Tori, my name is Kay. Okay, good. All right, great. And I'll email you. And please put the Y, YouTube, the big YT, so I know it's you because I get spammed a lot on it. I gotcha. Okay, so I was in the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry. And missed all the lives tonight until now. Okay, well, I'm glad you're better. It sounds like you're better and you're back. And it's okay. Don't worry about it. I understand. And you were just asking a question. And I'm sorry I don't have the answer for it, but I don't. I haven't actually even heard from them. I saw DOA and I think I haven't seen Laura today. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. Anyway, it's good to stay on topic in Tori's chats. Yeah, thank you, love it. I appreciate it. She's a good moderator. Okay, so I have seen a guy auditing the DC org within the last few weeks. I don't remember his channel. Okay. Well, Shula, if you remember it, let us know. Okay. This is someone's explaining that they were responding to what you were saying live at the time, Tori. That was in response to your comment about that's terrifying. I don't know what I said that was terrifying. That's why I'm saying if you can remember what I was talking about, because I don't remember saying anything was terrifying. I mean, I was talking about OT7 and I don't know. I don't remember saying the words terrifying, so I'm sorry. Okay, thank you for being super cool, Tori. Thank you for being so nice, all of you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Was Jeffrey Augustine a Scientologist? I believe he was briefly, but I'm not positive. I think he was. And he's married to Karen De La Care, and she definitely was. She's a class 12, which is way up there. Scientology schools do auditing on very young children. Ooh, really? In the schools? I never had that. My son was in a Scientology school. Scientology schools do auditing on very young children. They also do the Purif with the huge doses of niacin and 5 hours a day in session. I don't think I did you do again. I'm going to ask you, and I'm sorry to be this way, but I hear so much stuff where people got this information from hearing it from someone. Were you at a school where you saw kids doing auditing? Because my son was at a Scientology school and I never saw auditing. And I think he was in three different Scientology schools. And I never saw them do any auditing with any of the kids. And I never saw any of them or heard about them doing the Purif. So I don't think that's true. The Purif is out of the church. It's not, or like maybe a mission. I haven't seen it at a mission, but it's usually out of the church that I know of. So let me know if you actually, Bonnie, if you know of kids auditing and which school. I'd like to know. Hi all. Tori, I sent you an email yesterday about comments showing up after the stream is over. Okay, good. I will try to find it. Thank you. Okay. Oh, this is good. This is good. This is Fluffer Squirrel UK channel has a full list of the protesters in order of city. That way you can find others in your area to protest with. Good. That's good to know. That's very good to know. Thank you for letting us know that. Perfect. Hello, AV. We're just about over on this. Just sent you an email with my YouTube name and subject line, Tori. Okay, thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Okay, here's a question. Why is LAPD so protective of Scientology and seemingly on their side always? And when Scientology doesn't pay any taxes at all and do not support the police with any tax money? My opinion, this is just my opinion, but I've had problems with them for years. So with protesting, and I think the church pays them off. I do. I don't know how. I don't know how it works. It just feels that way because they are so committed to them. And why would they be unless, there's some payback? So that's what I think. And that's what they generally do. So, okay, here's the thing from Sophie. Scientology makes the able more able. I don't believe that they are interested in helping the homeless or giving them auditing. Yeah, that's what I said. They consider anybody with any kind of problems. They're down stats, and they don't want to waste their time with it. And that's the way it is. Thank you, Tori. You're welcome, April. All right, it's specific conversation. They will. I'm sorry to hear that. It's been in private conversation. They will be okay, but it's been a rough night. I love your late nights. I'm sorry to. I'm sorry they're having a rough time. That's too bad. That's nice. I like this one from Sophie. Wouldn't it be awesome to have Tori come to New Zealand to attend a conference you mentioned? Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very cool. I love New Zealanders. Guy Bassett. Hi, Tori. How are you? It's good to see you. It's hard to relate to all these young kids. Now I'm 67, but I'm very good at watching what happens, and I see things that no one else does. Well, I understand that. I mean, I'm 76, so I'm 10 years older than you, and I love them. I mean, they're great kids. They really are. They're really able at what they do, and they're passionate, and they're fun, and they're funny, and I don't know. I get along with them great. I'm really happy to know them. They're a wonderful addition to my life. There you go. I guess you're talking to Love It, so that's something else. These are people. Thank you, Sophie. I appreciate you too. I really do. I'm really happy to know you. All right, here's a question. When Scientologists required skilled nursing or 24 care like a nursing home, are they placed somewhere in the blue buildings? What do you know about how elderly are treated and where? The only one I know is I was on course with Milt. I think his name was Milt. Anyway, I was in course with a supervisor, and every day all the Sea Org would go this way to eat for lunch, and he would get on his bike and go this way. And finally, one day I asked him, I said, "Where are you going down Fountain?" Because it was like, it's lunchtime. And he said, "Okay, oh yeah, Sally Esterman and Mitch Esterman." That's right, it was Mitch. And I said, "Where are you going?" And he said, "Well, Sally's in this nursing home down the street. And so I'm going down to see her at lunchtime." And I said, "Okay, can I go visit her?" And he said, "Yeah." So I went, and it was awful. I mean, it was just awful. I mean, it was a crummy, old, creepy nursing home, 3 people in the room, one throwing up, and no one would come and help her. They were calling the nurses' aides, and nobody would come. I mean, it was awful. And so I had a long talk with her, and I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "I'm trying to drop my body, and I just can't. I don't know how, Tori." And she'd start crying, and they had a little TV there for her, and it was just awful. And I said, "Okay, first of all, let me get a couple things straight. She was a person who assisted Yvonne Gents at Celebrity Center." And I said, "I'm going to tell you something. Every person who hears that you pass away is going to wish they could thank you, because you have helped thousands of people." And so then she started crying again. And I said, "But, really, they should have a huge," and I feel this way. I mean, these guys worked so hard for so long. They should have parades for them. Do you know what I mean? Like thanking them with horns and, all kinds of good stuff. It should be a good thing. And, and I said, "But they're not, so let's look about next lifetime. What do you actually want to do? Do you want to come back here and be in the Sea Org again?" And she said, "No." And I said, "That's what I thought. I think you're right. So what do you want to do?" So we talked about that. And I said, "Okay." So she was better just from talking about that, getting acknowledged, someone saying thank you. And I do, every time I mention her name, I tell people that I did let her know thousands of people would wish that they could have hugged her and thanked her, and, said that they were sorry that they didn't get to say goodbye. So anyway, there's that. And then she did pass away about a week after that. So that was good. So it was kind of a good thing. But I went to see Kate Connolly after that, who was the head of PR. And I said, "Look, if you think these picketers that they were sending me out to handle are your big problem, they are nothing compared to these elderly folks that if you're going to treat them like you're treating her, this is going to be a nightmare." And she said, "We know, and we've got it handled." Which, do they have it handled? Who knows? I have no idea, because I left after that, shortly after that. So how are the elderly treated and where? I mean, that's the only one I know of. I mean, I don't know. They may keep them out at Gold, because they built all of those apartment buildings out there. I mean, yeah, at Gold. And nobody's there anymore. So I think they may be just putting the older people out there. That's a guess. It's just a sheer guess. Haven't seen Laura since she did the Q&A thing in the auditorium. She was talking about being able to speak at this thing to DOA, but I had jumped in the middle. Was wondering where she went. I'm not sure what where was the auditorium thing? Because I just saw him, I think, last night or the night before. So where was that at? Because I don't really know. Please stay on topic, chatters. I love it. Thank you. Discussing people's personal lives is off topic. Okay. Well, but we're kind of doing a Q&A here, love it, just so you know, because we did talk about security in OT7, and now we're just kind of doing a Q&A. So I get it if some of them bring up some stuff, but I get it with love it. They're not things that I know anything about. So let's let that go and, fish around somewhere else and see if you can find out if somebody knows. Just saying, hadn't seen her. Okay, I got it. Well, I'm sure I know Lovett, and I know Laura, and I'm sure she's fine. She's a very competent woman, and I have faith that she's fine, one way or the other. I do. I could maybe call her. Let's see. Should I call her? Nah, it's too late. She might be up, but I don't know. Let's see how many times I'll have to. Okay, I love it. Street says they donate to the police organizations. Yeah, that's what I think. They donate to the police organizations, and thus they feel, kind of obliged to them. I think the church pays for the LA cops to be security at overtime rates. Yeah, that's the other thing Streets brought up the other day, how much money they made. They make a lot of money. Wow. Thank you for always giving such direct answers, Tori. Well, thank you, Sophie. I appreciate that. I never know if I'm, if people feel like they're learning stuff or not, or if I'm doing it right. And I always say, if you want me to do something different, please say it. But thank you for at least saying that. I appreciate it. I know for a fact that the Delphi school does auditing with kids that go to school there. Okay, so again, I think you're talking about Delphi, Oregon, where it's a boarding school. And I don't know that. My son went to Delphi and they didn't do any auditing there. So I just don't think that that's part of the program. But anyway, it's nothing we're going to answer here today. Confident Chris, here he is. The man about town, Tori Magoo, we love you. I like Confident Chris. You know what I really appreciate is he answers my if I go on his what do you call it? This, like his YouTube site. If I ask him a question, he answers it. And I really appreciate that. It means a lot. There's a lot of people that don't. You can ask them many times and they just don't. And it's like, so I really appreciate it, Confident Chris. I love you too. 2 of the A1 auditors in Chicago found paperwork in the org trash. Now, what is this? They talked about it and showed the paper. Also, a school in Florida told in their ads that they do auditing on children. Okay. Well, maybe they've changed. Maybe they do. That's why I'm saying I didn't experience that, and I've never heard of that. But I'm not saying they don't. I know kids can get auditing, but I don't know if it's in the school. Not that none of the schools that I was in. My son was in 3 schools, so I know 3 schools, and they didn't. Sophie, this is nice. You're welcome here in New Zealand anytime. I'll pick you up at the airport. That's how we are down here. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll just have to save up to fly there and then I'm set. That'd be really fun. All right. And then here's, what is this? Aaron also read some posts about Scientology message site. Okay. Well, that's a thing from Aaron, so ask him. Hi, Tori. I've been a fan of yours for years. Hey, thank you for that. Julie Fire Rocks. All right. You looked fearless when talking to Odo next to the police officers on Easter. Curious, were you afraid of being arrested? No, I don't get what this fear thing is. It's like we are people, and as long as we're talking, it's like no one is going to arrest me. I mean, I get this swatting thing is a new thing and they do it, but I don't think they're going to do it with me. I just don't. If they do, they're going to, experience the results of that because I'm a senior and I just don't think they can. But I didn't have any fear on it. No, I know Odo. I've known him for years and I knew him back when he could talk. Like now they can't talk at all. But years ago, we used to have long conversations with him. We'd go by there and talk to him about leaving the Sea Org and all kinds of stuff. So I like him. So I wasn't worried about it at all. I knew he wasn't going to arrest me because I was like, oh no, it's Tori. And he went, I know. And I said, Drew and I have been worried about you for years, literally. We thought maybe he died during COVID. So I was really happy to see him. It's kind of funny because other people have, I guess, not so great experiences with him, but we knew him years ago and then we haven't seen him. So it was like, wow, it's Odo. I didn't even recognize him because he's got the beard and that cowboy hat and everything. I had no idea that was Odo. So no, I wasn't afraid of being arrested. I'm never afraid of being arrested. I mean, I don't know, arrest me. I mean, what's the big deal? It's like, I don't know. I don't have that fear in my head. No. But I generally don't live in fear. It's just sort of like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And if it does, we'll take it up when it does. That's the way I am. I don't believe in regret. I don't regret anything that I've done in my life. Not anything. It's like I am who I am because of what I've done in my life. And a lot of it's kooky stuff. I mean, many people, I could tell you stuff and people go, come on. But I've done a lot of crazy stuff. I really have. So, okay, good. This is good. Amanda says she'll make some welcome signs. All right. What does that mean, a welcome sign? You mean like protest signs? Protest signs would be good. Hi to you in New Zealand. Oh, look here. Hi to you from New Zealand. Your midnight slot is perfect for me because it's 9 p.m. our time. Wow, it's 9 p.m. your time. I just love you and your content. Thanks so much. Well, thank you. I didn't know it was 9 p.m. tomorrow night. It's tomorrow night, right? Because you guys are ahead of us. I thought it was like, I'm trying to remember when we had ESMB and the New Zealanders would come in. I don't know. I thought it was like 2 in the morning or something. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Okay, now here's Sophie. It's absolutely disgusting how the older Sea Org are treated. It is. Tori is so right. These people have worked so hard for the cult, but there is no acknowledgement or respect given to them. Yeah, it really is. I think we could do a protest like that. There's 2 protests that I really want to do. One is about all the deaths. And I want to have photographs of, big time people that they knew, or all the kids that took their lives. We know like 17 that have taken their own lives. And don't take your life if you're a young kid, because believe me, it's just a certain age where you have to get through that. It's like from 18 to 25 or 26. And then once you're past that, it goes away. So just move on. My mom, I tell people this all the time, but it's true. I would say, Mom, I'm doing so much better. And Dianetics is really helping me. And she'd say, Tori, Dianetics is not helping you. You are just getting older. That's all that's happening. And you're better and wiser because you're older. That's what happens. And it was like, I never forgot it. You know what I mean? Because I was just so deluded that it was Dianetics. And anyway, okay. All right. So so Sophie, so the other thing, so the one was to have a protest with photographs of all the different people, that have died and executives that have left, right? That's one. And then the other one would be one like you're saying, where we just have a huge parade. Do you know what I mean? Like just balloons and banners. And I mean, we would have to, because Jessica found out about this. They said you have to reserve L. Ron Hubbard Way 40 days in advance. So, okay, we reserve it 40 days in advance, or maybe even longer. We figure out a nice time in springtime and we have it. And then we have the street. We could say, whatever. We have signs saying thank you for your service. and stuff like that. But I mean, some people won't go along with that because they're against the Sea Org, and I get that too. So it's a little tricky. We'd have to figure it out, but it would be kind of cool. We could do, I don't know. We'd have to talk about it and think about it, but it's something that I think would mean something to them if we did it in the right way. It would have to be in the right way, so we're not doing things that we're against, because we don't like them. Like I've always said, one of my friends who was never in took me into CCHR, Citizens Commission on Human Rights, which is their thing against psychiatry. I'd never seen it. I'd given money to it. I'd picketed about it, but I'd never seen it. And I was pretty much against it because they always said I was on psychiatric medicine, which I'm not. And my doctor, Dr. Dank, who was Hubbard's doctor, said it's not. It's just the medicine that she needs. But once I saw CCHR and how disgusting it is, I mean, you talk about exaggeration and, back to the 1800s and how they use things, they start out, they put you in a what do you call it? Padded cell. You start out in a padded cell and then you go from there. So I said at the end, I mean, I was almost throwing up. It was so awful for me. And I thought we should do one just like that right next to CCHR about Scientology. You know what I mean? About the abuses of Scientology. It's like regging and the Sea Org and RPF and the whole and using the kids and, just all kinds of stuff. We could have it all there. It'd be right next to CCHR. So people would come in and see their shit and then come see Scientology, what the darker side of that, because this is definitely the darker side of anything having to do with psychiatry. So you're right, Sophie, and it's tricky. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I think it's really great that you guys, this is a good time for you. I love it. Okay, now, this is Pamela SP Butterfly. To see how the elderly are treated, you should watch a video Mike Brown has done with his mom, Rosemary. I think I saw that. I think I did. But everybody else should too. I like Mike Brown. I haven't met him in person, but I like him. And thank you for mentioning that. Okay, now this is someone else answering about, quite sure those Easter cops were off-duty overtime pay from C of S. Not sure that they had arrest powers. DOA confronted them with, is that a lawful order? And they just said, we're asking you. Intimidation. I think I talked to them and it's like, I think they have the power to arrest, but they're policemen. If something really bad happened, they could arrest someone, but it's Easter, you know what I mean? So they were just trying to keep everything together. That's what I think. Oh, okay. Here's one about the elderly. She's seen elderly or ill CC Int staff get placed at the Shangri-La Lodge apartments that's across the street from Celebrity Center. Well, could be. It's going to be a big situation for them. I told Kay that. I said, because the Sea Org is getting older and older and older, or like more and more people are getting older, and they're going to have more problems, and it's not going to be good. It isn't, and they better figure out how to treat them, or it's really not going to be good. Yeah, it probably varies where they're housed. That's true. That's good. I like that. It's never too late to check on a friend. True. Last I heard, Laura was doing an interview in the Steve Weebly show. DOA dropped her off there. Okay. I know nothing about this. So I get it. Yeah, he's a lovely son. He is. It's very true. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Well, this is good to know. Watch Danny, Mindy, and DOA's afternoon live stream today to know what happened with Laura. Okay, thank you. I will, because I was watching it for a while. It just seemed like it was just DOA and some lady that I didn't recognize. It wasn't Mindy. Tori Magoo is my priority. All right, there you go. Thank you, Confident Chris. I appreciate that. All right, so this is fun having you here. Do you like the late night with Magoo? Tell me the truth. All right, the above is a DC audit video. Okay, the above where? Where is this above thing? The above is a DC audit video. Let me see if I see it. I don't see the above thing. I don't see it. Anyway, if you go to New Zealand, you can just pop over to Australia and let me know, show you around. Wouldn't that be fun? I got to do that. Do the New Zealand, Australia. Oh, God, I'd have fun. That would, I think I'm going to do it. I am. All right. There may be confusion about auditing and other services for children being in school when the word courses is used specifically for Scientology classes. Okay, yeah, I can see that, but it isn't auditing. It just isn't. I've never seen it. So you have to find out who and specifically what and what were they audited on and where were they audited and stuff like that. Or else it's just sort of a big, I hear these people spreading around stuff and it's like, well, I've never seen that. So where is it? You know what I mean? If you don't know it and the other person is saying it, then I think it's fair to ask them, okay, who, where, what school, when, what years are you talking about? If it was last year, that could be. I've been out for 24 years, so I don't know. Maybe it changed. The DC video was about 2 months ago by Freedom from Religion. Okay. All right. Did I know Sharon Fry? I think I did. I think I knew her, but not really well. No. Wait. SOC knows it's you. I believe you never will be arrested. SOC knows you know too much. Yeah, it would be a bit of a situation if they arrested me. Believe me. I mean, it wouldn't be a good plan for them. And I have been overly fair with them. It's like, just like talking to Odo. I mean, I was very kind to Odo. I was also kind to the policeman. The policeman, just so you know, because people saw me go up and talk to him and they didn't know. But I said, because Laura was like yelling through the microphone really loud. And I said, and I could tell it was sort of irritating him. And I said, you have kids or not? And he said, yeah. And I said, how old's the youngest? 5. I said, okay, well, just so you know, why that woman is yelling as loud as she is when your daughter was imagine your daughter laying, or at least helping lay, the very bricks that you're standing on. That was her. That's why she is as passionate as she is. She doesn't want any other children to get into Scientology. Now, I don't think they're getting kids into Scientology anymore. That's what I understand. But I could be wrong. So I hope I'm right, but I think, I don't know. It's a tricky one. But thank you, April. I appreciate you saying that, and I think you're right. Up Mayo, catching alive in the UK, even though Catching up from 1.5 hours behind. Catching alive. Oh, I see the live video. I thought you were catching a fish. Okay, welcome to the New Zealand signs. Okay. All right. Was that you going to La Poubelle the other night? The patrons were told tonight the protesters were Scientologists. I was there. I went with Jessica only because one of the Zach, I think it was Zach, got a ticket over at the complex. We were over at the complex, and he got a ticket, and he was really, I guess he was really mad. So he drove up to La Poubelle, and then DOA was playing some goofy thing over his anger. And Jessica saw it on the video and said, we got to go see it, or I got to go see it. So she took off, and I thought, I want to see it too. So I drove up there. I never go there to protest. That's not my thing. And I think if anything, we should go over to Celebrity Center and be protesting there. Like Phil said, please just go over there once a night and say, Michael Jones, please call your mother, just anything. So for me, if I was over in that area, I would be over at Celebrity Center because I used to work there, and I have a lot to say about Celebrity Center. So anyway, but I was there, and I was a Scientologist. I'm not a Scientologist anymore. The protesters were Scientologists. No, we're ex-Scientologists and critics, who are people that were never in. All right. Tori Amanda was saying she'll make welcome signs. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I thought you meant for the protest here. And I was like, okay, you're going to make the welcome signs? I mean, I wasn't quite sure how that was going to work. And Sophie said, yes, these protest ideas are so good. Okay, good. How about protests on tax day? Yeah, that's another one. That could be all around the world because they're not paying taxes anywhere. Okay, what is this? There are so many elderly folks setting up the Easter event. There were so many. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to see. It's painful to see. It is because they're very old now, and they're making them do a lot of physical labor. I don't think they can get young people in. We want to see you in New Zealand, Tori. It's the future here, 9:30 p.m. All right, Saturday night. All right. Okay, well, I got to go. Speaking of nights, it's around 1:35 your time. Yeah, that is correct. Okay, but we're on the same time? That's so weird. Oh, because you are a day ahead. See, it's Saturday night for you, so that's a day ahead of me because it's Friday night for me. Even though it is Saturday, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, you know what I mean. Don't get me started. Confident Chris, good for you. She's a very wise and wonderful woman. I guess Confidence Chris did something, but I missed it. God, it's really hard. There's a lot of stuff that goes along. Okay. Well, thank you, Confident Chris, for being so cool. Okay, so I'm going to hit this blue thing, I think. I love this idea of the protest parade. That's actually thanking them. It's like showing the Sea Org how they should be celebrated and get them to see how badly the cult treats them. Yeah, I think it would be, I think the people that want to do it should do it. The people that don't shouldn't. That's the way it is. It's like I get it. If people don't want to do it, that's fine, but we could do it. Scientology seems to hate the Scientologists who give their lives and money to Scientology. Wonder where Ulrich got 40 days from. Now, wait a minute. What is this? Scientology seems to hate the Scientologists who give their lives and money to Scientology. Oh, like the Sea Org. Wonder where LRH got 40 days from. Maybe Jesus was spending 40 days and nights in the desert, lifted from the Bible. I don't know 40 days for Hubbard, so I don't know. It's over to you. I don't know what that is. Absolutely true. People okay, you guys are talking together. Hello, everyone just joined like 2 hours behind. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. And I'm just about ready to sign out. Let's see if there's any questions. All right, here's a question. Do you ever feel embarrassed about being in a cult? No. I was in a cult very much like Scientology, and I sometimes can't get past feeling embarrassed for having gotten into it. I've never had that feeling. I had a lot of I actually enjoyed it for 20 years. I really had a good time. And I made a lot of wonderful friends, and it was a good life. It was a different thing than it is now. Hubbard died, Miscavige took over, it turned into a nightmare. I got on OT7. That was a disaster. And so now every day I tell people I was in a cult and here's my card. Go learn about it because they are after you. And people always go, me? And I go, you're young. You speak 2 languages because a lot of people here in LA speak 2 languages. And Scientology's after you. Yes. Or they're from another country. And I'll say, you're Asian. Scientology has already gone through all the white community. None of us want to do it anymore. So it's like now they're after anybody from other countries. And they're serious. They're really serious. So it's like people need to get serious and get educated. That's what cult experts say. Cult experts told me this, Tori, anyone, anywhere can get suckered into a cult if you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. And your only thing that can make sure you're not going to get suckered in is to get educated on what is a cult, right? And learn about it. Because if you learn about it, it's never going to happen. So anyway, there you go. No, I don't ever feel embarrassed. In fact, I'm kind of proud about it. I'm proud I was in and I'm proud I was out. And, it's like I met a lot of neat people and I'm still friends with a lot of those neat people. And all of us are out and it's quite an experience to talk about. Believe me. I mean, there's never anybody that's not like, could I listen in on that? How long did Anonymous stay in LA when they protested with you? Well, it was funny. That's a good question because they actually, when they arrived, both Bunker and I said, look, if Scientology was smart, they would just leave them alone and they'll be gone in a week because they're young kids and it'll get boring and that'll be it. They'll do their thing and then they'll leave. But if Scientology does what they usually do, which of course they did, and went after them and went after their parents and fair gamed them, then they will be here forever. And they were here for a long time. Now they're still in Europe. And they've written me and said, if you ever need us, let us know. So it's kind of like, I mean, I don't think they're like at a drop of a hat, they'll be here. You know what I mean? I don't think that, but quite a few years ago, they said that to me. Oh, April, that's sweet. I'm a train away and can support and help. Okay, well, good. Well, it's up to you. That's why I say it's better if we say where it is, when it is, because then other people can go, oh, I can do that, that kind of thing. But I get these people are worried it's going to be a gang, but it's not a gang. I mean, if I say to you guys, you're invited to this, if you want to come. That you don't have to say yes or no. You can just show up. So that's the way it is. I live in Virginia Beach, but could I find an org nearby? Yeah, you might find an org nearby. Yeah, that's true. See, that's what Anonymous did, and there were 9,000 people in every major city in the world. I mean, it was amazing. I have no idea how they got that organized. I really don't. That's amazing. I don't consider it a mistake, first of all. Okay, you aren't in now and realize your mistake. It wasn't my mistake. It's your thinking it was my mistake. What's not to love yourself for that amazing realization? Well, I didn't have that realization. Like I said, I don't regret anything in my life. Look how many people never know they're in a cult. Be kind to you. You got out. Thank you. Well, I am kind to me, and I'm proud of being out, and I'm happy. I don't have a big, what was it that you said? You realize your mistake. I don't consider it a mistake. I would never have my son if I wasn't in Scientology. I would have never met my husband. There's hundreds of people I now know that I would have never known, and I love them, and they're out, and they're friends of mine, and so it's not really a mistake for us. We don't consider it that. You guys probably consider it a mistake, but that's on you. That's not on me. I don't have that. For me, it's like I did it. And like I said, I don't regret things in my life. I don't believe in regret. I think it's a wasted energy. So there you go. You do what you do it when you do it, and then you keep trying to do better every day. That's it. Thank you so much, Tori. You are welcome. Thank you. All right, here's another comment. Tori, behind your stories and knowledge, but it's also great for other people to find places to join others. Of course. Behind your stories and knowledge. Well, first of all, that's not a complete sentence. Just so you know, we've been trying to say make a complete sentence. Tori, behind your stories and knowledge, period. Unless you mean ... But this doesn't make sense either. It's also great for other people to find places to join others. Of course it is. Did I ever say you can only be here or that's it? No. Of course, people should join wherever they want to join. I'm just happy you're here when you're here. But that sentence didn't really make sense to me. Oh, thank you for smashing the like button. I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, other people should join other places. That's a good thing. I believe in all kinds of education. That's what got me out of Scientology, believe it or not. Okay, OT7 says you're invincible. Yeah, they pretty much, they don't, but that's kind of Hubbard around in a roundabout way says if you're an OT, you'd be invincible. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Jules Fire Rocks. All right, and so glad I was able to join this chat live. Yeah, that's cool. You are welcome. Thank you for coming. It's fun to have people come. Scientology's in South Central LA. Ooh, yeah, I know. I've been there. Going after the community. I've lived there for 4 years and didn't know it. Yeah, they have a community center. It's the first one I've ever heard of, but I went there for it. And they locked a lady out that flew down to speak. They locked her out. And they locked out everybody. We were all locked out. And I was like, what the hell is this? And Lynn and I went over there, and the guy came out, the CEO guy, and said, what did you do? And I said, and what is your name? And I said, okay, first of all, let's get something straight. I didn't do anything. You have locked these people out of your community center. I don't think that's too good of an example of a community center, do you? To have the entire town see these people locked out and they can't go in. So don't ask me who I am. It doesn't matter who I am. It matters what you do. And you should open the doors and let these people in because that's what you agreed to. But he didn't. Yeah, it was really creepy. It was really creepy. I heard the lady that was speaking go, tell the senator not to get on the plane. Forget it. The senator was going to come here and talk. And why didn't they want him? Because they were going down to Skid Row to use to talk to people about how they could get help. And I'm sure Scientology said, well, you're going to be using Dianetics, right? And she said, no, hell no. This has nothing to do with Dianetics. Out the door, lock the door, bye-bye. That's their community center. So yeah, I'm familiar with it. We should do another protest there because anytime you want, let me know and we'll set one up because we've done a few of them there where we protested and they sent all the security from Hollywood to there to South Central. No, it was in Inglewood. That's where we were, and that's where the community center is. And they sent they were there like that because we started going in the org there. Once they wouldn't let us in at the community center, we said, well, let's go over to the org. So we went over there and man, they had the security there. It was really funny. And the girl didn't know Lynn. She'd never seen her. So she said, yeah, come on in. You could do a tour. And Lynn is a class 8. And she left a long time ago. Ooh, it was not good. The security were like, get out. Tori, what are your thoughts on transcendental meditation? And do you think it qualifies as a cult on any level? I've never really studied it, so I don't think so though. No, because I think plenty of people use transcendental meditation, and it's a cult you can't leave, right? So transcendental meditation, my understanding is you can use it, you cannot use it, but it's not something you have to report to, go to, pay to, listen to one guy. It isn't like that. So I don't think it's a cult. She meant that for me, Tori, that comment. Okay. I don't know which comment you meant, but okay. Looking forward to working from the start as find you as interesting and calming as we being hit by the storm Kathleen here in Ireland. Aw, I'm really sorry. Let's everybody send good wishes over to Ireland that you're okay. Oh, that's awful. We're having horrible storms on the East Coast here, too. It's really something. Okay, Paris org protest starts in 30 minutes. Wow. Well, unfortunately, I have to go to bed, but for anybody that's up, if you want to go online and support them, that'd be cool. Okay. Okay, first of all, don't get me started with Mace Kingsley. That's where I worked and left. She doesn't know anything about schooling. So I have no doubt that she probably was also using Scientology, but she wasn't when I was teaching. I taught 6th grade there with Danny Masterson and a bunch of other kids, got them together for the time being, and then I left, because it was, it was just like she didn't know how to teach school. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't know. The schools that I respect, that my son went to, was Delphi, and then Cam's school, which was the literacy crusade or something like that. I forget what it was. And Apple School. And those 3, I don't think they've ever had auditing in those. We're also having a huge windstorm in Colorado. Oh, boo. San Juan Mountains. How nice to find Tori on live. Yeah, very nice. You can do a protest in the, okay, good. And the South Central, whenever you say, no, you figure out when is a good time, like a little bit down the way, like not right now, but like maybe in a month or something when it's springtime and it's warmer. And, send me an email, or the best thing, if you can, are you on Facebook at all? Because if you're on Facebook, the best thing is to send me a Facebook private message or text me. And then, you can try the email, but I'm just telling you, I'm not good with email. I'm not. There's too much spam that I have. Yes, we can do the protest, but I would like to do it. So one way or the other, we'll work it out. Can clothes fit? Okay. I don't know. Okay, you guys are getting weird. All right. Tori, please keep asking for full sentences. People are accustomed to rushing to type a question, but there is no real rush here. What is important is that it makes sense and is grammatical. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I do think it's important. And it's like, this is not the racing channel. You know, there are other channels where they have thousands of people and everybody's racing to say something. But that is not this channel. This channel is a little family of friends from around the world who like each other, and we can communicate together, and you can take your time and say something. But if you do mention something and think it through for a minute and go, is she going to understand that? And it's probably not, unless you have the whole sentence and what you were talking about, even if it was before. Like, now I'll tell you I was talking about before. Well, what were you talking about before? Before I was talking about going to a concert. Now I'm saying I can't go. Okay, that's a full concept. You see what I mean? You get it. It's easy. Whereas if you go one time, I was thinking about going to a concert, and then 20 things down, you go, now I can't go. Okay, now you can't go where? Now, maybe on other threads, they don't care about that, but I do. So that's why I asked for the full sentence. Happy nighttime, I can't sleep. Gusting wind at 50 miles an hour, and then I found you. Okay. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you love the wind. That's good. And I'm glad you found us. Tori is projecting her intentions of good to everyone. You're right. That's correct. Thank you. All right. Now, these guys are... Okay, love the name Jeepers. Yeah, I do too. That's a good name, Jeepers. Really good. It's nice to slow down every once in a while. Yeah, and this is definitely the place where you're going to slow down. And if you don't want to, you can leave. It's like everyone has a right to go wherever they want to go. That's the good thing about the internet. And you can come back. You can go and come back. You might go over there where everything's zipping along and go, I really like it better where I can just hang and, rest and talk to Tori and talk to my friends and, have a good time. That's what I want. I want you guys to enjoy each other and enjoy talking and learn something, hopefully. And if you don't, I want you to tell me. Okay, so I was so triggered today. What is this? I drank to calm down. Then 1 cup of magnesium. Now I'm on the pot. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you feel better. Well, this is a nice apology, if I can get it. Let's see. Is this it, Jeepers? I apologize for not making a complete sentence. My ad circles, and I will work on it. My ADD circles, and I will work on it. She had a great explanation right now. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that helped, April. And I understand, we all have stuff we got to work with. So that's all I'm saying is, because that's my problem. I've got my own stuff and I can't remember stuff. So, especially short-term stuff. So it's like, it helps if people put the whole concept there. And then it's like, oh, okay. Now I can answer it. Okay, somebody said something here. I've been in a legit Buddhist, community and had to extricate myself from a few bad ones, setting people off like every community. One job, I got caught up trying to find a weekly thing. Yeah, that's true for anything, though. You can have things where there's going to be good and bad people and stuff like that. That doesn't, that it's just the way it is. Okay, so anyway, I think we're at the bottom. I think we are. I think we got to the bottom. Well, now that you can drink in peace, this is so cute. I can finally drink in peace with you on. The morning is getting good. Okay, well, now we are going to say good night. So I'm going to say good night to you all. It's been 2 hours and 14 minutes, which is a long time. So anyway, thank you for coming on. Thank you for staying. If you liked it, thank you for that. And if you subscribed even more, thank you for that. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow night I'm going to be with my son, so I don't think I'll probably do a midnight with Magoo, but I will probably Sunday night. So anyway, there you go. That's the plan. All right. I love you guys. Good night.